Good evening. Week 9 is officially over. We witnessed some really good games this weekend, and last night was one of those good games. Now, today we're going to talk about last night's game between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, as well as a slight change in my MVP race. So, are you ready to get your fix? Well, last night we got to witness the Patriots and the Jets at MetLife Stadium, and if you remember, I asked you if we would see the Jets finally get their first win of the season, or if the Patriots will start a winning streak. Well, the Patriots barely pulled off a win, 30-27. Now, this is the first time in franchise history that the New York Jets have started the season 0-9. Now, they easily could have won this game last night. Cam had one play to put his team into field goal range. The receiver caught the pass. But what really made me kind of confused was that the Jets defense, that the defenders actually kind of they shouldn't have touched him right away, but they did. They literally shouldn't have touched him at all. Let the time run out, and then hey, they got a win. Okay, but there was 3 seconds left. Okay, and they instantly went to touch him, which allowed Bill Belichick to call a timeout and kick the game-winning field goal. Now I thought these defenders should have stayed away from him, let him kind of get up and make a move because time would have ran out. Then you make the tackle, but they literally sprinted to him, touched him, and now they gave Bill Belichick, time to kick the game-winning field goal. Now, Joe Flacco, he started last night and actually did a really good job moving the ball downfield. Okay, he had all his receivers healthy and made some really nice throws, including some pretty deep throws. I thought Joe kind of took some shots that you really haven't seen from him in a while and actually was pretty accurate with them, except the last deep ball that he threw, which gave New England the ball to drive down the field. He threw an interception and then kicked that game-winning field goal. Now, look, Joe Flacco is obviously not a starting quarterback in this league anymore, but last night, he proved he can be a really solid backup. Now, Joe, he has played in a total of 4 games this season where he's only started 3 of them. And in those 3 starts, Joe has a completion percentage of about 56%, with 643 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, he hasn't had, that bad of outings this season when he's actually had to play. The Jets are a bad team, which makes me wonder just how bad the Patriots are. Okay, I'm starting to think that Cam Newton is a big reason the Patriots are struggling as of that because the entire offense, has to revolve kind of around him. He has no good or great receiver, only subpar ones that are still trying to make a name for themselves. Besides Julian Edelman, I think Julian Edelman's a good receiver. This year he's kind of iffy. He was actually hurt, and we're trying to wait to see what kind of happens with him. But hey, he's having one of his worst seasons of his career. But anyways, this season Cam Newton has only had 2 passing touchdowns with 7 interceptions. Okay, that tells you the passing game is nowhere to be found. And that's due to the lack of talent at wide receiver position. I think this is the season New England is just rolling with what they got before they start amping up, their roster. Because I seen a picture tweeted by Adam Schefter that had the most projected 2021 salary cap space, and the Patriots are 4th with about $73 million to work with. Now that's hopefully it's not a set number. It's kind of what we're gonna get, what we're given at this point going forward. But I feel after this season, the Patriots are going to find that star receiver either in the draft or free agency. They're going to go out and they're going to capitalize on somebody and also probably get a quarterback unless they feel like they want to stick with Cam. But I don't see that happening. Cam is more of a running quarterback, even though that's what the game is. But he literally can't pass the ball, and that's the sad thing. And if they stick with Cam and get a star receiver and he does better, hey, then so be it. I love it. Cam needs a chance. But as of right now, I don't think Cam's the man there. Now, literally the only thing I think the Patriots need to be really good is that star receiver, because they have, at least in my eyes, the best offensive line in the NFL, and their secondary is top-notch, okay? But they could get another pass rusher to help. Last night, New England snuck away with a win, and now I think it's safe to say that the Jets will end up drafting Trevor Lawrence if he decides not to stay in college, even though I don't think they really need him. When they have Sam Darnold, I think they should build around Sam Darnold at this point. He's been just fine. He has a terrible coach, terrible GM, and literally no help on offense. None. And then his defense lets up way too many points where it's really hard for Sam to even come back. The games that Sam Darnold's played, yeah, he's made mistakes. But you can tell he has a lot of heart and he plays hard and he still goes out there and does his job. I think it's just the situation he's in that makes him not look like a starting caliber quarterback. Anyways, now I'd like to take some time to talk about that current MVP race. I already think Russell Wilson is the front runner. Obviously, what he's been doing with that Seattle Seahawks team. And then I have Patrick Mahomes close behind him due to his 25 touchdowns and only 1 interception run this season. Mahomes is putting up another good fight. Like I said earlier, when I was a couple weeks ago, probably months ago, that, Patrick Mahomes very easily could have won last year's MVP, and he very easily could win this one. He could have 3 in a row, but, Lamar got the one last year. Who knows who's going to get it this year? But, however, there is one guy I believe deserves to be in that MVP race, and that man is Dalvin Cook. Okay, look, in 2016, LaDainian Tomlinson won the MVP, and at this point in the season, he had 150 rushes, 656 yards, 9 touchdowns, and had 959 yards from scrimmage. Okay, then in 2012, Adrian Peterson also won the MVP title, and at this point in the season, he had 136 rushes, 652 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 787 yards from scrimmage. Now you go and look at what Dalvin Cook has done so far this season with 144 rushes, 858 yards, 12 touchdowns, and then 1,031 yards from scrimmage. Okay, that puts Dalvin Cook on pace for about 1,716 rushing yards, 24 touchdowns, and about 2,062 yards from scrimmage. Now, if he were to reach those stats, this is just incredible. Okay, that's just amazing, and something we haven't seen since Adrian Peterson when he played in Minnesota himself. Okay, now I also seen a stat today where of the top 20 scorers in the NFL today, 19 of them are kickers. The only other one, Dalvin Cook. 84 points he's been a part of, or Dalvin Cook has scored 84 points this season, just getting touchdowns. Okay, and doing that. 84. He's number 1 on that list right now. I don't know what it is, but that's special. You don't see that. Kickers always, literally always are the scoring leaders in the NFL, but Dalvin is number 1 with 84. Probably not going to keep it, obviously, but to be number 1 at this point in the season, halfway through, over halfway, is special. Now, Dalvin Cook is a legit MVP candidate and has no signs of slowing down, especially after getting injured, last year, the year before, this year. And he came back to rush for over 200 yards. Okay? I think Dalvin really needs to be in the discussion for MVP regardless of his team's record because he is the most valuable player for the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, and I honestly believe that it would be the same case if he were on any other team. Dalvin Cook is currently in my MVP race, standing at number 3. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, probably tied. I still think Russell should get it. He has, he's never received an MVP vote, and what he's doing in Seattle it's really next level. I know he lost to the Bills and he lost to the Cardinals, but the man's special, okay, and we can't take that for granted. But Dalvin Cook is in my MVP race. Well, that's going to end our discussion today as tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you guys, again, my power rankings for Week 10 and maybe, possibly some more info around the NFL. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow. And you just got your fix with the Wicks.